Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. So I want to say thank you so much for the new subscribers. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, listening, hearing, watching, just being able to be there. I truly appreciate it. Check out Patreon. There are exclusive videos on there along with Spotify, which matches those videos via audio. So whichever you decide to want to choose, you can be able to look at everything that we're doing along with exclusives. So again, thank you so much, and we are going to get into this new video, a free video, public video. We are going to talk about Destiny's Child Survivor. So be sure to check out their debut album, Destiny's Child, and The Writings on the Wall. I have spoke about them, and I also wanted to allude in those videos about this video and Destiny's Fulfilled. So, well, Destiny Fulfilled, which we will talk about as well. So let's get into it. So Survivor is the third studio album by American girl group Destiny's Child. It was released on April 25th, 2001 by Columbia Records. As their breakthrough second studio album, The Writings on the Wall, 1999, became a rising commercial success. Destiny's Child faced the controversial departure of original members LaToya Luckett and Latavia Robertson, who were replaced with Farrah Franklin and Michelle Williams. In February 2000, soon afterwards, they commenced production of their third studio album, tentatively titled Independent Woman. So at first, the album was going to be called Independent Woman. It wasn't even going to be called Survivor. And be sure to check out the Patreon where I talk more in depth about Destiny's Child. Pretty much, it's a story time. So anything that is on Patreon and Spotify is exclusive. But I'm also doing like story times when it comes to artists as a whole, where we get to really learn about them more, and we can also talk about their signs too, because we already established different signs and possibly their moon. So we could talk about different things, So, if we want to put this into an example, let me see. Let me just look at, birthdays then, since we're doing things like this. So as far as with, I know that, okay, so Latavia Marie Robertson, November 1st, 1981. So she's younger than Beyonce. May have been the youngest. LaToya Luckett, March 11th, 1981. So she's older than Beyonce, but actually younger than Kelly. So Kelly was older than Latavia and LaToya and Beyonce. Kelly was the oldest. Okay, as far as with those four. As far as Michelle, she became the oldest because her birthday is actually in a few weeks, July 23rd, 1979. So in the sequence of, if you look at the girls, I'm here, women I should say, it was Kelly, LaToya, Beyonce, Latavia, where that's the age range. Signs, of course, Kelly's an Aquarius. You have LaToya being a Pisces, Beyonce being a Virgo, and Latavia being a Scorpio. So you have two water signs that just so happen to say, listen, I'm not feeling that. Where you have the air sign and the earth sign saying, well, listen, we got to keep working. Okay? And then you have Michelle Williams, which is a fire sign. So you have earth, fire, and air going off. That's the group. Okay? So just wanted to let y'all know, as far as like signs, where it kind of lies as to where everything was and why it was the way it was. So in reality, yes, those are their birthdays. And as far as when they became a trio for Destiny's Child, Michelle was the oldest, then Kelly, then Beyonce. So you can see, as far as when we get into it, how the album was and what was going on from there. So yes, those are their birthdays and their signs as well. And I guess you guys can possibly read up, or we can read up together. You know, different signs with artists and how they may have connected. But yes, mere 5 months after joining, Franklin departed from the group in July, and Independent Woman Part 1 was subsequently released as a single from the accompanying soundtrack for the film Charlie's Angels 2000. The song became a global commercial success and the group's third US Hot 100 #1 single, retitling the album Survivor in reference to the turmoil surrounding their line-up altercations. Destiny's Child enlisted producers such as Anthony Dent, Damon Elliott, Mark J. Feast, Rob Fusari, and Key Beats alongside Beyonce Knowles, who produced all and co-wrote nearly all of the album's tracks. So their final product was an R&B and pop record incorporating genres such as dance, funk, and hip-hop. Its lyrical themes explored dynamics between women, self-esteem, independence, and romantic relationships. So this was an album that Beyonce was putting more control into. Recorded May 2000 up until February 2001. So in the beginning of the recording process, yes, Farrah is still there up until July. So within not even a month and a half, Farrah is out the door of the recording process. Meanwhile, they're releasing Independent Women, and you know, it's just something, because I don't know whether Farrah's vocals are on there, but I don't think so. Maybe not. Let me just go back. Let me go back and look. It was a B-side to So Good. Well, you know what? No. As they said. No. This was on, it was a B-side to So Good, Say My Name. Okay, so it was just literally a single. It was literally something that they were working on. So it did feature Frank. Okay, so first single to feature vocals from group member Michelle Williams, and the only single to feature Farrah Franklin, who was no longer in the group. So in the midst of working on this song, they was able to, have some vocals from everybody and collectively put it together. Mostly the three that are shown here. But it's just the fact that they were literally right then and there, almost about to work on the music video and stuff, and she left. So let's go back to, and y'all know I'm gonna keep it real on here. Upon its release, Survivor received generally positive reviews, mostly aimed at its production, while its balladry, length, and lyrical content ignited criticism. So the sense of the album and where the direction was and how it was made, critics were like, oh my god, like it's even more of a quality, if you will, from their previous work. Unfortunately, it took the fact that, members are not there, but the sake of Destiny's Child, the entity, the group, it's getting better, Retrospective critical commentaries have credited the record for its impact on mainstream music of the 2000s and for serving as foundation for Knowles' eventual solo career. With the sake that she worked mostly on this album, yes, Michelle and Kelly were also, I should say Kelly and Michelle, whichever y'all want to go about it, they all are great. But I just want to say this, people got to hear the fact that this was a Destiny's Child album, but a co-produced of, collaborators and Beyonce. So this was literally a sense of people hearing, okay, despite her being the lead singer, she's a bit hands-on on certain vocals and in certain arrangements here. Like, we're hearing a bit more of Kelly and Michelle, and we're definitely hearing her. Like, you know, okay. And that's another thing I wanted to make sure I pointed out. Like, she didn't just go in the studio and be like, all right, well, I want me. No, like, she knew where she wanted Kelly, just as Kelly was there to witness and be able to say, oh yeah, that's a good placement too. Like, they worked together, okay? So, I just want people to understand, like, she looked out, you know. A global commercial success, the album debuted at the top of the U.S. Hot 100, Billboard 200, I should say, sorry, with first week sales of 663,000 units, becoming Destiny's Child's first and only #1 studio album on the chart. It has gone on to be certified quadruple platinum by the Recording Academy at the 44th Annual Grammy Awards 2002. The album was nominated for Best R&B Album. By the end of 2001, it has sold over 3 million copies worldwide, being among the best-selling girl group albums of all time. So, it's legendary. It's a legendary album. I don't think everyone was, like, ready for the sake that it was just like, oh my god, like, they're back, because it was like 99, 2000, they got these singles and we're hearing them on the radio, and then here they are with another album. It's like, oh wow. So they were back to back with this. And at that time, because I want to resonate with other artists in the sense of where things were at that time, so we're talking April 25th, 2001. Who do we have? We have Macy Gray, we have Faith coming back, we have, well, Faith Evans, I'm saying. We have country singers that are coming out. I know there was Tim McGraw, there was alternative really emerging, like, you know, there's a song I wanted to say, but, well, 3 Days Grace and Blink 182, and there was all these different alternative rock bands that were emerging, and I was here for it. I know that within a year or so, if not by 2001, you had Nickelback, you had I believe Linkin Park was really emerging by this point too. Like, there was a lot, like, Green Day, you know, there was a lot of rock coming in and alternative at this time. Pop was really fuming, like, going nuts at this point in time too, where you're thinking about Britney and you're thinking about Christina Aguilera, when you're thinking about I mean, we will give props to Jessica Simpson, okay? We will also give props to I'm trying to think of who else was coming back, and just, there was just so many people. I mean, Pink was emerging, like, come on, like, already had her second album, I believe, by this time, or about to, because we had Don't Let Me Get Me, and, you know, you had Most Girls, you know, there was I just want, don't get me singing. All right, you know, just, there was just all these people coming, and then baby girl Aaliyah was already releasing We Need a Resolution as a music video, and was pretty much making appearances, letting us know that she was coming back in this month. Actually, this is the release month of Aaliyah. So there was Janet was back. Janet said All For You, okay? You know, there was Missy Elliott back. You know, Little Kim had already came back, you know, okay? And Maya. You know, everybody was literally working. And that's what I miss. And I know it's kind of showing now in 2024 in a different spectrum, because you're kind of seeing, like, okay, well, a lot of these artists were all in the same room back in the day. Now everybody, since COVID, which I can't say is not a bad thing, but now everybody's in their own divided sectors of who they really be around and who they don't be around, and it's real. Okay, and that's honestly no different than what we was able to see with Destiny's Child by last year, where it was just like they all love each other and business is business, and there's a lot of things that happen in contracts where you say to yourself like, damn, like this is my friend, like, you know, put all this aside, can we just chill? And then, you know, when you gotta really say to yourself like, yes, there's always time to chill, but when you gotta work, when you gotta make sure that money, that good money comes in, oh yeah, no, you know, we'll make time. Okay, like, you know, we can't just not work. Okay, we gotta do something. So yeah, let's continue. Let's see. What did I just? Yeah, where was I? Yep. Okay, so we're over here. Upon its release, Survivor received generally positive reviews. Yep, I read that part too. Yep. Survivor produced 4 singles. Its title track peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reached the top 10 in 18 additional countries. In 2002, it won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with vocals. Bootylicious became Destiny's Child. It became Destiny's Child's 4th U.S. Hot 100 #1 single and attained international success. Emotion became a U.S. Billboard Hot 100 top 10 hit in the wake of the September 11th attacks. While Nasty Girl was released only overseas. Nasty, but you're coming. Listen. And achieved moderate success. The album was further promoted with the co-headlining Total Request Live Tour. Ooh. Total Request Live Tour was co-headlining tour featuring American girl groups 3LW, Destiny's Child, Dream, Saint Lunatics, and American artists Eve and Nelly. Jessica Simpson joined the tour for select dates before venturing off to her own solo tour. Her slot was later taken by City High. What would you do if your son is left? Okay, stop. There was so much going on, okay? There was so much. Oh, I'm so glad I witnessed it. It was, if anyone who is 30 and up, because I'm not speaking on those that are ages 28 and under. 28 you maybe remember, 29 you should be able to remember, but anyone 30 and up, you remember what the hell was going on around here at this time, okay? So yes, after the latter's conclusion, the group embarked on a 2-year hiatus, during which each member released a solo studio album to varying levels of success. And I'm happy that they emphasized varying levels of success, because everybody got a Grammy. Everybody has a #1 album for whichever genre, as far as for Michelle, Kelly, and Beyonce. You know, so there's no, and whoever has more and did the most, it really, there's a blueprint to everything. And I just want y'all to know that this wasn't necessarily the complete blueprint, but it was the blueprint of the blueprint, if you will. Because the Destiny's Child, the debut album, is where we got to see them. But this was where we were like, what's gonna happen next? Because within a year's time, Kelly and Nelly have a song, Dilemma, #1. Okay? Michelle, same thing, is just going off on the gospel charts. Okay? And then Beyonce, within the 2 years, as we know her, Crazy in Love and Dangerously in Love, which is on. So yes, we got more to talk about. So yes, background and development. In July 1999, Destiny's Child released their second studio album, The Writing's on the Wall, their breakthrough record. It debuted at number 6. In December, LaToya Luckett and Latavia Robertson tried to split with Destiny's Child's manager. Matthew Knowles claiming that he was keeping too much of the group's profits and that he favored his daughter Beyonce and Kelly Rowland. When the accompanying music video for Say My Name premiered on February 2000, Robertson and Luckett found out that they were being replaced with Michelle Williams, a former backing vocalist for Monica, and Freya Franklin, an aspiring singer-actress. On March 15th, Robertson and Luckett filed a lawsuit against Matthew Knowles and their former bandmates for breach of partnership and, I guess, their duties. Following the lawsuit, both sides were disparaging towards each other in the media. When this lawsuit happened, both sides were trying their best to be very classy and not try to really badmouth, but it couldn't have been helped. They were successful, and things weren't truly talked about from both sides to have this be mended a different way. But at the same time, and this is not in the defense of fame and fortune or anything like that, the group has already begun, and so over time, which is definitely something now, when it comes to streaming and residuals, everybody still gets paid. At that time, when we didn't have all that, it did make people feel on both ends like, there's something that has to give. It can't just be, oh, well, you could have been in, but then at the same time, well, you can't expect us to not, it's just, at the end of the day, and this is what I feel like they was able to understand and heal from, was the fact that the group had to go on. And yeah, ultimately everyone is still and will continue to get paid for the work they've done because it's been beyond 20 years. Why aren't they? You know what I mean? They should be, and they are. So my thing is, I think that when it came to working on this album, I'm gonna speak on both sides here. Let's just talk with the sense of LaToya and Latavia. Whether there was disagreements or misunderstandings, they wanted to still be in a group. So they didn't just say they're gonna go solo, either of them at the time, because of course LaToya went solo, years after. But they went into another group. So it's just, when you look at that side of it, where it's just like, okay, they're really just wanting to still work and still were wanting certain things to be a way, but there was still a way as a group that everyone should be able to kind of just understand, and when that's not being understood, that's why it happened. Whereas when I go on to the other side, where it's just, okay, yes, Beyonce is the lead singer. Yes, Kelly is right next to her in the sense of where all this is going on. And of course, her father is overseeing things. So it's just, even speaking later on where Beyonce said, I want to be my own manager, it's not so much she didn't disagree or agree or didn't want everyone to not have what they wanted. She just wanted to really be in a group. And over time, and I say the same for Kelly, and over time, when they both went solo, it showed the fact that this wasn't something that they didn't eventually not look at and say they didn't appreciate it, or that they didn't feel like it was a waste of time. Like, no, like, we in a group, we working, and yes, we gonna have our our heads butting at each other, but the goal is to have some generational wealth here. We can't just break up in the midst of 4 years, whether it's being signed by 95 and then all this going on before 2000. Like, that's it's scary. But there's groups that's not in the best shape as they used to be, as far as just sales and stuff now, as opposed to those that we know, whereas like they still going strong. And that was the whole point, and I think However, the group's prominence and commercial success burgeoned, aided by Say My Name, which peaked atop the Hot 100. The writings on the wall subsequently registered a significant rise in sales, ascending towards a new peak at number 5 on the Billboard 200. So it was just kind of odd to see a change, but the public was just like, well, we love this song. And that was what I feel like all group members just didn't want anyone to kind of, disarray from. Was just like, they love us. That song, Say My Name, is all 4 of them still. So it's just like, not having them in the video, they wanted to quit. As opposed to, if they were in the video, yes, it would have pleased us all. It would have made us be like, okay, oh my God, they're going off, Say My Name, it's all their vocals. And, it would be a similar effect, but even more greater effect when it was Bills, 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 when it was all 4 of them, So, yeah, we kind of know all of this here. I just want to get to the track list now. So, yeah, the album did well, and, they did win a Soul Train Award. Wait, no, it was nominated, I'm sorry. It was nominated for a Soul Train Award for Best Soul R&B Album, but they did win Best Album at the TMF Awards. Oh, Soul Train Lady of Soul Award is what they did win, which was in 2002. But yes, guys, Independent Woman, Part 1 was track 1, so that's the first thing you hear. Okay, that's the first song you hear. The number 1 single is the first song you hear. You getting right into it. And then you got track 2, Survivor, includes Bootylicious Prelude. And then there's Bootylicious, which is track 3. And then Nasty Girl, which is track 4. So by the time you get to track 3, you're already like, all right, this is a great album. Like, they're going off now. Like, okay. And hearing Michelle Williams be in the group, it really complimented the group as a whole with everybody, because it was keeping the group alive. Let's just be real. Everything, it just, hello, like, and still is to this day, where it's just they all are able to eat still. Shoot. Yeah, Fancies for track 5. Track 6 is Apple Pie Alamo. Track 7 is Sexy Daddy. Track 8 is Independent Woman Part 2. Track 9 is Happy Face, includes Emotion Prelude. Track 10, Emotion. Track 11, Dangerously in Love. So I want to talk about this song right here, Dangerously in Love. It is written by Beyonce and produced by Beyonce, along with another person. But this song, no one, I know I wasn't ready to hear. I was not ready. And when I heard this song, it stuck. Because it was one of those signature songs that, despite the fact that it is part of a Destiny's Child album, it is considered a Destiny's Child song. It is also a Beyonce song. And what better way to have that song be the title of your first album? Because it's letting people know I'm a singer. Like, I'm a singer, and why not, Track 12, Brown Eyes, includes The Story of Beauty Prelude. Track 13, The Story of Beauty. Track 14, Gospel Medley, dedicated to Ajetta Tillman. And then track 15, Outro DC3, Thank You. And of course, they had deluxe editions and super CD editions. So they had Emotion, the Neptunes remix. So, yeah, there's Pharrell. Okay, Pharrell is in the mix. And then track 17, which is Survivor, the music video. There's the international edition, which Perfect Man is track 8. So I want to talk about that song real quick. And the reason why I want to talk about that song is because that song Beyonce wrote. She did it herself with a few other writers. But that song was actually featured on Romeo Must Die, which, you know, stars Aaliyah and Jet Li. And when I heard that song, I said, whoa, like, okay, like, Perfect Man. And it dawned me because it wasn't on the Survivor album, and it was an international edition, and you know, you had to find that at the time. Now it's really on the album. It's on the track list. Like, you can listen to Perfect Man. But it was just, that song was already something out in 2000 where it was on a soundtrack. So despite what was going on, B felt, I want to do a soundtrack. You know, I want to do a couple songs where it is me, and why not? You know, of course, track 9, Independent Woman Part 2, track 10, Happy Face, track 11, Dance With Me, track 12, My Heart Still Beats, featuring Beyonce, includes Emotion Prelude, then track 13, Emotion, track 14, Brown Eyes, track 15, Dangerously in Love, includes The Story of Beauty Prelude, track 16, The Story of Beauty, track 17, Gospel Medley, dedicated to Adele Tillman, and then track 18, DC3, Thank You. Any other songs were mostly remixes, but that was about it as far as just the album itself and where it was going. It was such a different time. Great album. And at the time when we had this album, no one was thinking that them going solo, any of them going solo, would happen so fast. And it was within a year's time. So, you know, I will talk about Kelly's debut album, because I did talk about Dangerously in Love, so I will talk about Kelly's debut album and among her albums as a whole, because she is a legend too, okay? And yeah, guys, I want to thank you so much for listening and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll be back with more.